Whatever your preference in movies, you can't deny that The Italian Job is one of the most iconic British films of all time. With an average American remake too, these films have the potential to lend themselves well to video games based around quick and nimble driving. So in this video I'm going to take a look at both of the video games based off the two Italian Job movies. The first title I'm looking at is The Italian Job on the PS1. It was developed by Pixelogic and published by Rockstar in the US and Sales Curve Interactive in Europe. The game was released in 2001 and a PC version was released a year later. The game follows the 1969 movie quite closely as you plan a heist to steal gold bullion by causing a massive traffic jam in Italy. Now, if you've seen the movie, you're probably thinking, well, they based the game on one chase sequence from a film? Well, the game does its best to pad out the story length. Your first set of missions are based in London, and these involve proving your driving ability and picking up vehicles for the heist. Your next set of missions are set in Turin as you make final preparations and then execute the heist. And there's also a couple of missions at the end where you control the bus with the bullion around the Alps. Missions are pretty basic, they mostly involve getting from point A to B in a certain time. There is occasionally variety in the gameplay, such as this mission where there's a bomb on your bus and you can explode if you're not too careful. You will also have to contend with the police in most missions. They're quite relentless, and if they capture your license plate number, then you're nicked. The game captures the charm of the film quite well. You have a chirpy rendition of the movie's main theme, and comedian Phil Cornwell provides his best Michael Caine impersonation.
His driving might be a bit rusty, so we're going to have a little game of cat and mouse.
Some of the 60s humour is represented here as well, which has kind of lost its charm in this day and age.
I'm going to take a couple of big birds up the loony bin.
I like them big. Big?
So for a game that's fully focused on driving and chase sequences, the gameplay isn't up to scratch. The car handling is so janky it takes a bit of time to get used to, and if you make the slightest mistake by crashing into something, you might as well restart the mission, as you'll have lost too much time. There are difficulty settings in the game which I assume gives you more leniency, but this doesn't address the poor car controls. Something the game would have benefited from would be a mini-map to help you find your next goal. A lot of the time you'll be making guesses on which street to drive down, and ultimately you'll have to learn the routes of the city. The graphics are certainly lacking for a PS1 game released late in the console's lifespan. The menus and cutscenes are nice and charming, but the environments are bog standard and the vehicle models lack detail. On the plus side, the developers have included a handful of different modes to try to give the players some good value for their purchase. Modes included are Free Ride, Checkpoint, Destructor and Challenge, which features a nice variety of stunt tracks. There's also party play for up to 4 different players. The funny thing is, the best mission in the game is when you first escape stealing the bullion, which I played the entirety of before I even known the game. This mission was included on many PS1 demo discs at the time, so after I played it I thought, well, I've played the best bit of the film, what else is there to include in the full game? Having finally played through the full game now, it's kinda hard to recommend. The gameplay pales in comparison to other PS1 driving games, like Driver, but there's a lot of charm here for fans of the film that they may be interested in. That brings us on to the Italian Job LA Heist. This title was developed by Climax Brighton and released for the PS2, Xbox and GameCube in 2003, to coincide with the unnecessary American Italian Job remake. The game is similar to the PS1 game in that it has a short mission-based campaign and similar modes such as Free Ride and Stunt Mode. The main mode has 15 missions with 2 or 3 parts to each one. Some really cheesy voiceover will explain what's happening with the plot, but I don't believe it to be anybody from the actual film.
260 bricks of gold bullion, freshly minted in Indonesia.
This will be your only human interaction in this game, as there are no character models, no pedestrians, just cars on show. Now, the fact each mission is divided up can prove very frustrating, as if you fail on the second or third part of the mission, you'll have to go right back to the beginning, which was pretty annoying on this mission here where you have to race the other minis through the LA Underground. You pretty much have to know the track off by heart and have good luck over the AI opponents. Just like the PS1 game, the missions are super basic. You'll just be going from point A to B with very little variation of the formula. This time you're given points based on your performance. You can earn points by doing car stunts and smashing up scenery, for example, and these points can unlock cars in other modes of the game. Overall, I'd say the PS1 title has plenty of charm, but the gameplay and humour have aged badly. And LA Heist has good gameplay, but lacks any variety or excitement. Two very average games that I'd only recommend if you're big fans of the film counterparts.